When I say the greatest game ever made, what comes to your mind? Maybe think of titles like Red Dead Redemption 2 or Zelda Breath of the Wild. Some of you might lean towards something simpler, like Minecraft. Or maybe you're all about the endless updates and modes in Call of Duty and Fortnite. And if you're a critic, you might even throw Astrobot in the mix. Seriously though, how did that win Game of the Year? But here's the thing, every single one of you are kind of right. There's no universal best game ever, and there probably never will be. But once upon a time, there was a game that could have come very close. A game with unlimited potential, a dedicated fan base of over 102 million fans in the US alone. This game had enough modes and characters to keep you hooked for hours, each character with their own abilities, their own playstyle, all set in a galaxy far, far away. So how could a game like this possibly fail so miserably? And why does it barely manage to eclipse 1,000 active players today? By now, most of you know exactly which game I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, I'm talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2, the greatest game that never truly was. I still remember exactly where I was when the Star Wars Battlefront 2 announcement trailer dropped. I was in Dick's Sporting Goods, shopping for a new baseball mitt when my phone buzzed. I looked down to see the trailer, and to say I was in shock, that's an understatement. As the trailer wrapped up, there it was, the pre-order bonus. It was everything I'd ever wanted in a game, all laid out in front of me. Without a second thought, I turned to my parents and casually said, I don't need the mitt anymore. By the time we left the store, I'd already pre-ordered the game, no hesitation, no second thoughts, I was all in. My excitement didn't fade for a second as I counted down the days to the release. When the day finally came, I raced home from school, eager to hit that download button. As the game installed, I could barely sit still. But then something weird happened. I jumped onto YouTube to get even more hyped, only to find out the game was already facing major backlash. Fast forward just a few days, and the lobbies were a ghost town. It was like the game I'd been waiting for, the one I thought would change everything, had already lost its spark. The problem wasn't the game itself, it was how the game launched. Battlefront 2 came under fire for its microtransactions, the loot box controversy, and the pay-to-win mechanics. These issues overshadowed what could have been an amazing experience, and even though the developers worked to fix these problems, by the time they did, many players had already moved on. The game's initial reputation was irreparably damaged, and its community suffered for it. Here's the twist. Years later, I found myself with some downtime and decided to give Battlefront 2 another go. And let me tell you, it was incredible. The developers had fixed nearly every issue that caused such an uproar at launch, and they added even more content on top of it. Sure, there are still a few hackers here and there and some minor bugs, but the game itself is absolutely amazing. It's beautiful, it's fun, and the fact that it's all set in the Star Wars universe just elevates it to another level. This game desperately tried to succeed, and sadly, it just didn't. But looking past all the controversy and the failures, this game truly is magnificent. Despite the fact that I'm a die-hard Star Wars fan, I can honestly say that Battlefront 2 is one of the most enjoyable experiences I've had in the recent years. And who knows, maybe in 20 years, when we finally get Battlefront 3, maybe we'll get the long-awaited greatest game ever. Until then, we have to appreciate what we do have. Star Wars Battlefront 2, the greatest game that never was.